This is a step-by-step guide to the No Man's Sky Liquidator expedition. I'll take you through a super efficient route to complete the expedition as well as the best ways to make the most of the rewards, including an S-Class Sentinel multi-tool complete with a 2x2 cube of supercharged slots and a 40% damage bonus that you'll be able to take back to your primary save afterward. This first part is optional. Should you perform this extra 5 to 10 minutes of play, you will emerge from the expedition with a near-peak multi-tool. This cube is the perfect shape for most things, all weapons except for the boltcaster, so certainly a worthwhile few minutes extra. If you don't wish to obtain this multi-tool or are starting the expedition with a fresh save, skip to the next section. To grab this multi-tool, you'll need all of the portal glyphs, a low bar, but if you're especially new or it's a new save, there's a guide linked in the description for getting your glyphs super fast. Get to any portal in the Euclid Galaxy. I highly recommend everyone having a portal base. You even only need just the base computer by the portal. Maybe a teleporter for convenience, no need to upload it. At the portal, dial this address. And before heading through, be sure the multiplayer is turned off in your network settings. This is a must-take step when going for any multi-tools or crash ships, as if you are in a lobby with someone else, they can take it before you or vice versa. On the other side of the portal, if you're lucky, you'll see some player bases, one of which may mention the harmonic camp we're after. If not, or if the base you need just isn't showing, head to the coordinates -21.75 by +110.99. At these coordinates you'll find a harmonic camp. Be sure to get the 4 scrap wheelbarrows on the right as they contain a multi-tool slot augment, an exosuit slot augment, some void motes and nanites. On the terminal, the code to unlock the base is 2713 in any order. Unseal the multi-tool cabinet. You are now free to pick up the multi-tool inside, however the default multi-tool you'll find is a Sentinel pistol. This is great, but pistols have lower spawning slots. So for more slots and in my opinion a better design, jump in and out of your ship and reload the save. This will place a good looking Sentinel rifle in the cabinet with more slots, but the same supercharged slot layout. At this point you'll note this is a B-class multi-tool. We'll be using the expedition's multi-tool class upgrade rewards to get this to S-class, saving us 75,000 nanites. You'll also see this multi-tool, while free, has a few broken slots. To fix these you'll need 3 crystallized heart, 3 inverted mirror, 4 radiant shard and 250 atlantidium. The radiant shard are super easy and everywhere near you, so definitely grab those and the atlantidium to fix several of the slots. The crystallized hearts will be plentiful in the expedition, so you can leave those. Inverted mirrors will not, so you can either fix if you have them in storage, use repair kits if you have 3 of those, or you can grab them now or in the expedition. It will just add a few minutes, but whether you do now or then won't make much of a difference. You will have a single repair kit at the beginning of the expedition, but we'll save that for the broken slot that is on the supercharged slot. Big thank you to Milwaukee Scott who shared this discovery with the community. I'll link his Reddit post below. There will be an opportunity to get an A-class Interceptor discovered by Golden Gek. It is not needed, but it is a nice ship if you don't have the best pickings. If you plan to obtain this, you should absolutely either place 3 radiant shards or a packaged advanced mining laser in the expedition terminal before starting. Now you are ready to go, either head to the anomaly with your new multi-tool in the active slot or not, and start the expedition on the terminal near the Nexus, or start a new save in the expedition game mode. Initialize. Your first move is to check that multiplayer is turned off in the network settings if you want the smoothest experience. Next, open up your inventory. In your exosuit, move the jetpack core module to a supercharged slot and have the other upgrade touch it. Place the life support modules next to each other, and then place the hazard protection core module in the second supercharged slot with its upgrades touching. In your multi-tool, place your mining beam in a supercharged slot if one is available. Find a cave nearby. It is easiest to find one by scanning for humming sacks. These will be located in caves. On the way to the cave, mine any hazardous flora you see. Once at the cave, mine a plant or 2 to get enough carbon to fully charge your mining beam, and do so. Focus the Fat of the Land milestone, then start mining the plants and rocks in and around the cave. Here you must never let your mining beam overheat or fully cool down. Try and keep it near overheating the entire time. The Fat of the Land milestone tooltip should give you an idea how close to completion it is. Keep going until it triggers. Once complete, it's time to hunt some copper, so use your visor to try and find a copper deposit en route to your ship. Just go for the best option. You may need up to 2 deposits depending on size and quality. On the way to the deposit, destroy any hazardous flora you spot. At the deposit, turn your terrain manipulator to the smallest setting and mine it. You are after 910 copper. If you need a second, hunt more hazardous flora on the way to it. With your copper in hand, focus the milestone Law of the Jungle and destroy the remaining hazardous flora if you haven't already done so. At this point you should have most of the list of resources. Ferrite dust may be the one lacking. Regardless, gather whatever you are missing from this list from around you. The oxygen is overkill, but it's better to be safe, and this many hazardous flora should give you what you need. Move around your multi-tool tech again, except this time focus on your scatter blaster being the supercharged focus, prioritising the scatter blaster main module, then any upgrade with many stats. Where possible, without moving modules from supercharged slots, place extra upgrades touching the core module for some quick yet effective adjacency bonuses. Be sure that your scatter blaster is loaded. Claim the rewards from the Law of the Jungle milestone, then install the defensive upgrade and one of the underwater upgrades. Now make your way to your ship. On arrival, you'll get attacked, so be ready for battle. Kill as many as you can to trigger the Exterminator milestone. When fighting biological horrors, it is most important to keep moving. Strafing perpendicular to the enemy will allow you to sidestep lunges and spits, which is basically their entire attack capability. With the Scatter Blaster, one shot at close range will do per mob. If medium range, it could take 3. The biggest tip for this I could give you is that you cannot initiate a reload when you are sprinting, which you'll be sprinting a lot during combat. However, you can initiate a reload, then start sprinting, while the reload completes without interrupting it. Just don't attack or jump during and you'll be fine. Once you get into the pattern of exiting sprint, clicking to reload then re-entering quickly, you basically avoid all damage and mow them down. Claim the rewards from both All Guns Blazing and Exterminator, then install the defensive upgrade and the Scatter Blaster one, placing it for solid adjacency. If unsure, just have it touch the core module. Now craft 2 metal plating and 4 lots of ammunition. Build a portable refiner and refine 50 ferrite dust, then 700 carbon, and finally all of the copper. While the copper is refining, craft a hermetic seal, 5 carbon nanotubes, and 4 antimatter housing. Fix the launch thruster and pulse engine in your ship. After the copper is finished refining, grab the chromatic metal and craft 5 microprocessors, 4 antimatter, and 4 warp cell. Pick up your portable refiner and lift off into space. Look at the planet you just took off from and locate a large area of ocean, then fly toward and land on the coast. In the water, use your analysis visor to look for this red icon. This notes an alluring specimen. We need 3 of these, so when you spot one, swim over and ensure your scatter blaster is loaded. Always reload it after every use, as you'll often need it without a chance to reload it just before. Interact with the lures. These will reward hate or cause, but each one you pick has a significant chance to spawn a deep sea horror. When it does spawn, back off and while doing so, shoot the horror. You need to find, pick the lures and kill the horror at 3 of these to complete Blood in the Water. While you are looking for these, keep an eye out for an underwater fauna that looks like a large eel with fins on its sides. When you see it, scan it to complete Apex Predator. If you are having trouble finding the alluring specimen, which can take time as they are often few and far between, you have leeway with launch fuel to fly to a few different spots to just scan around and try another. Just try to be patient. Once done with your lures and predators, get back to your ship and claim the rewards from Dust Off. Install the hyperdrive and fuel it with 1 warp cell if you are planning to pick up the Interceptor, or all 4 if you're just going to ignore it. Head into space and open the galactic map. We're about to warp. The system we are going to is a dissonant system called Netioc 2. It's pretty easy to find. Just look from your current system to the Dropzone One system, then look slightly before and below, and you'll find this system, 96 light years from you. Warp there. On arrival, head straight into the space station, claim the rewards from Close Air Support, Apex Predator, Blood in the Water, and Acceleration. Sell the Hypnotic Eye. Then move to the Starship Upgrade vendor and sell 2 S-Class underwater upgrades you didn't use. Buy an S-Class Hyperdrive upgrade. Then decide to either sell or install the A-Class Launch Thruster upgrade, pre-packaged Combat Scope Unit, S-Class Scanning System upgrade, S-Class Movement System upgrade ×2, and pre-packaged efficient water jets. You won't absolutely need the nanites moving forward, but you also don't need all of these modules to complete the expedition, though installing or selling them will help with inventory management. Next, install the S-Class Hyperdrive upgrade and have it touching the main module. If your ship has a supercharged slot, move your pulse engine into it. If there's a second, have this new upgrade in that. Exit the station and fly down to the planet below, Iowash M15. Land anywhere with relatively flat land, get out, put down a base computer, then claim it. If you wish to obtain the Interceptor, this is a time to do it. Just head into space and summon the anomaly to go and grab either the Radiant Shards or the Advanced Mining Laser from the terminal. Then head to the coordinates -0.80 by -164.83. This is where the ship is, so interact with it, follow the usual steps and get your ship. Be sure to move everything from your old ship, including the S-Class Hyperdrive upgrade, before setting off. Focus the Dropzone One milestone and warp to the mark system. On arrival, head straight for the marker. On approach of the marker, once the ground is largely visible, use your ship's scanner while facing the marker to most likely find the building you need to land at, and avoid the target sweep. We'll do this at every drop zone, it's a great little speed trick. When you land and get out of the building, you'll be attacked by biological horrors again. This will happen at every location that has a waypoint. It will even happen if you mess with the damaged machinery. You can either fight them or ignore them and run inside to access the terminal. It may be worth fighting them to forward your progress in the optional milestones. It appears they each require 50 kills, and getting 250 at once would be unpleasant. But grabbing a few at each location isn't so bad. Once you've done your thing, access the terminal and work through the dialogue to trigger the milestone. Now you can focus the Infestation Alpha milestone and head there. Each infestation site is a direct marker, meaning no target sweep, which is great. Each one will also present a broodmother upon exiting your ship, so be ready to fight. A few tips for broodmothers: they shoot plasma high up to then rain down on you. To avoid this you need to sprint, so just time your reload so you aren't stopping to initiate it while it rains down. Broodmothers do have ads, though they can be ignored. As with the biological horrors, just keep moving and they won't be an issue. While shooting them, anywhere will do good damage. I find just tunnel visioning their head from close to medium range will get them down very quickly. You may also wish to use a paralysis mortar, which is exceptionally helpful on the broodmother. One mortar before and after a reload will keep her pretty much stun locked. Head inside to interact with the terminal. Work through the dialogue and trigger the milestone completion. Do not claim the rewards from Infestation Alpha yet, leave it as it is. That is unless you did not grab the multi-tool before starting expedition, and don't want to. Infestation Alpha, Infestation Beta and Dropzone Four all reward a multi-tool class upgrade, meaning even if you didn't grab that one before, you can still end up with an S-Class tool. It just won't have the supercharged slot cube layout. The next step is to loot 13 larval cores from the surrounding Whispering Eggs. The best method I find for this is to switch to the mining beam, mine 1 or 2 eggs and quickly grab the core before they despawn, then run around the building. As you get close to the next patch of eggs, shoot one and pick it up as you run past. Keep doing this and you will likely avoid all damage from the horrors and get the 13 larval cores in a single swarm event. Once a provocateur milestone triggers, jet back onto the roof to avoid the horrors, build your portable refiner and refine both the Hador cores and the larval cores into nanites. You won't need the refiner again, so you can either pick it up or leave it. Focus Dropzone Two, jump into space and warp to Dropzone Two system. For starters, it's nice and simple, largely do what you did in the previous system. Pulse the Dropzone 2 marker, deal with the horrors or not, sort the terminal to trigger the milestone, follow the Infestation Beta milestone, travel to it, deal with the broodmother and sort the terminal to trigger the milestone. Next however, it's time to get that multi-tool. So summon the space anomaly and enter. Head to the expedition terminal by the Nexus. Package all of the scatter blaster modules in your current multi-tool except for the core module. Also package the terrain manipulator and paralysis mortar modules, and if you grabbed it before, the advanced mining laser. On the terminal, copy the multi-tool from your primary save, ensuring it is the B-class Sentinel multi-tool. This will cost you a little under 1,400 nanites. If you don't have enough, claim the reward from Dropzone One, but click off when it compels you to add the multi-tool slots. You should do this with all rewards that offer exosuit, ship or multi-tool slots unless you made a fresh save for the expedition, as exiting out of that selection will give you the augments as items that you can take back to your primary save at the end. With your B-class Sentinel multi-tool as your active one, double check this to be sure. You can claim the rewards from both Infestation Alpha and Infestation Beta to make it an S-class multi-tool and fully unlock the cube of supercharged slots and its 40% damage bonus. This is a huge upgrade. Arrange to package scatter blaster modules, putting the core module and all but the shell degreaser in the supercharged slots and have the shell degreaser touching the core module. You now have a weapon that will tear through anything with ease. Also of course add the terrain manipulator, paralysis mortar, advanced beam and if you had it the combat scope. You can also add the pre-packaged pulse spitter you just received. I'll also note here that while you will be coupling this multi-tool back to the primary save afterward, it will be more nanite efficient to not use the slot augment on it until copied. You won't need more slots to complete the expedition, and adding more slots will increase the price to copy it back. It's not a huge difference, but will just cost you more nanites. Lastly, install the prepackaged hazmat gauntlets you also just obtained in your exosuit. It's time to head to Dropzone 3, so focus a milestone, leave the anomaly and warp there. This is the quickest system. Pulse to the marker, deal or not with the horrors, sort the terminal to trigger the milestone, focus infestation gamma, fly to the marker, deal with the brood mother, sort the terminal to trigger the milestone, then leave the planet, focus the Dropzone 4 milestone and warp there. This one will most likely require 2 warps if you didn't get the Interceptor, the first of which may be a freighter battle. If you want the freighter, defeat the pirates and enter it. If you want to skip it, then attempt to enter the freighter with the pirate active and it will disappear, allowing you to immediately warp again. Dropzone 4 is also pretty quick and simple, just with a few extra steps. Do what you did for Dropzone 3 and Infestation Gamma, except this time for 4 and Delta. So pulse, kill or not, terminal, focus, fly, kill, terminal. Now, before leaving Infestation Delta, we're going to knock off 2 more milestones. Jetpack onto the roof with a clear view and shot of a patch of whispering eggs. Claim the rewards from lock and load, which at this point should have long since triggered. Install both the prepackaged plasma launcher and S-Class plasma launcher upgrade and place them into 2 of the supercharged slots. No need for a fancy layout here, we'll be moving the scatter blaster modules back shortly. Just have the plasma launcher modules in the supercharged slots and touching each other for now. Load the plasma launcher. Ensure the scatter blaster and plasma launcher are your active weapons. What we're going to do is complete Fire in the Hole, which requires you to hit 4 mobs or more with a single grenade. Supercharging the modules increases its radius and so helps with this. So shoot one of the whispering eggs so that a swarm of horrors will appear. As they initially appear, they will crawl out of the ground grouped together. Waiting for the first one to mostly emerge before shooting it with a grenade will almost certainly hit 3 more around it that are present but still emerging, completing the milestone. You may wish to increase the likelihood further by peppering the area, though the highest chance is to wait for that first to have almost emerged before shooting that grenade. With Fire in the Hole completed, you can move the scatter blaster modules back into position. If your primary save is permadeath, you may also wish to consider removing the plasma launcher, so you don't forget about it and accidentally nuke your save when copying it back at the end. Focus the Metamorphosis milestone and scan for a juicy grub with your visor. Head over to it and pick up the grub. Back at your ship where the area is nice and flat, crush the grub in your inventory, then dispatch the broodmother that appears. Not too much left to go now, so head up into space and summon and enter the space anomaly. Use the teleporter to get to the base you made earlier. At your base on the dissonant planet, claim the rewards from Dropzone 3, as usual dispelling the screen to add slots. Build the Minotaur Geobay and then furnish the inside with the pre-packaged cannon and the 3 S-Class upgrades for it. Position the main cannon in a supercharged slot with one of the upgrades touching it, then place the other 2 upgrades in the other 2 supercharged slots. You don't need to install the other tech here, but may wish to either store them in your ship or the Minotaur inventory to retrieve later before ending the expedition. Charge the Minotaur cannon with condensed carbon. You have enough for 3 or so full charges, which should be enough. Use your visor to locate a nearby Gravitino ball. Focus the milestone Purple Mist and then pick up a ball to attract the corrupted sentinels. Jump into your Minotaur and start mowing down all who arrive. Purple Mist only seems to count drone and quad kills, so this will take a tedious amount of time, but getting their attention through the balls instead of a dissonant resonator appears to be by far the most efficient method. Before Purple Mist completes, you should also complete Scrap Metal and potentially Timberwolf. When you have destroyed all of the waves and they stop coming, just pick up another Gravitino ball and carry on, save and reloading if required until you have your 32 kills. We can now enter our final system and finish off the expedition. Focus the Dropzone 5 milestone, head into space and warp there. On arrival, face the planet closest to the station, a viridescent planet called New Eurolin. If luck is with you, you will see bases, and if even more so, you'll see my base called Sentinel Walker Dome. If you see bases but not mine, you can either look for one with Sentinel Walker in the name or Operation Center. Failing all that, you can either grab some secure facility maps from the station to find an Operations Center, or head to the one at the coordinates -87.73 by +146.02. At those coordinates you'll find an Operations Center with a dormant Sentinel Walker. Land your ship, ensure your weapon is loaded, then attack and destroy it. For walkers, just getting really close, shoot off the 2 sets of 2 leg armor. This will stun it, then lay into its head/body until it falls. Your weapon should make short work of it. As you attack this one, another will spawn, so right after, find the second one and destroy it too. After the second is down, jump in and out of your ship to save, and load the new restore point. Now just repeat the double walker kill to complete Iron Giants. Next you can either blow the building's door in and hide inside until the Sentinels lose interest, or do the save and reload trick again to get rid of them. Now, if my base was here, then fantastic, just use a nutrient processor inside the building to cook a single ranted flesh, the food item that dropped from horrors, and pick up the ribs that it made to complete spare ribs. If my base isn't there, just claim the rewards from Provocateur to get the processor, build it and cook the ranted flesh. You may need to refocus the Dropzone 5 milestone, but once the marker is showing, pulse over to it. This is the same as previous, so ship scan on approach to find the building, land, deal or not with the horrors, do the terminal and then focus Infestation Omega. Only before leaving, if there is a storm happening, sprint around the area until the storm finishes or the Snowblind milestone triggers. Afterward, fly to the marker and do the usual with the Brood Mother and terminal. Do the running around in a storm thing if one is active and you haven't yet completed the Snowblind milestone. Completing Infestation Omega will unlock the last but one milestone, Swarm Song. Focus it and travel to the marker. This will require you to scan on approach, though it's less reliable than before, so you may just need to find it using the target sweep. It should only be 350 U or so from the marker. At this location, keeping an eye out for more storms if you need one, deal with the horrors and access a terminal inside the building for your final log. Not counting the optional milestones, there should only be one left if any. That one is Bleeding Foam, and if that isn't complete, you can just claim the rewards from Dropzone 1, 2 or 4 if you haven't already for more nanites. The optional milestones are not yet available as of the writing of this guide, so I can't be sure whether claiming the rewards will unlock them on other saves. As a Liquidator armor for the Minotaur will be added as Quicksilver items, they may not be, and so their use here would just be to aid those who are completing the expedition later, or continuing their expedition save as separate ones. Regardless, for all general purposes, you have now completed the expedition, basically in full. The last step is to reap as many rewards as possible for your primary save. Before fully ending the expedition at the terminal in the anomaly, you'll want to claim all remaining rewards, including the phase ones. You may need to sell some of the extra technology modules for space as well as more basic resources. Taking back slot augments for the exosuit ship and multi-tool are top priority, as are salvage technology for obtaining more building plans. Though if your primary save has every building plan, you are better off buying single cost plans on the expedition save at the construction terminal, as learning those recipes will give you more nanites than refining the salvage tech. Allantidium is absolutely worth taking back, and you'll likely have a full stack by the end. Crystallized Heart, various other rare resources and products as well as S, X and Sentinel class technology modules. Lastly, don't forget to make a copy of that nice new S-Class 4 Supercharged Slot Cube 40% damage bonus Sentinel multi-tool on your primary save. You can also use this opportunity to make copies of the Vulture for its crafting parts or the Starborn Runner for its Photonics core tech. For this, simply pay nanites to accept the reward from the Quicksilver Synthesis bot on the expedition side. Then, with it as your active ship, you can copy it on the primary save as many times as you can afford or want. For the Photonics core, you can make as many copies of the ship as you want of the technology -1, then remove it on the expedition side to take with you as packaged, saving you the copy cost of nanites for one of the Photonics cores. Lots of ways to enrich your primary save with expeditions. Thank you all, I hope this was useful, catch you next time.